Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 14 in the 2020 NOFSRL Haas IndyCar Series. We are here north of the border in the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for the Canadian Grand Prix. 17 laps of action around this 2.45 mile road course in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. And we only have 3 races until we crown a champion in Long Pond, Pennsylvania on Labor Day. And this championship fight is extremely close, especially considering 4 races ago, points leader Chase Harris had a 90-point lead. Now it's down to 10 points after a dismal weekend at the Watkins Glen International. Jordan alongside Mike and App once again. And Chase Harris has not had a good run the past few weeks. What does he need to do in this race, considering that he's starting deep in the field again, to keep Nicholas Samedeo from taking this points lead here today at Canadian Tire?
Well, Chase Harris, he's going to have to make a lot of passes today, considering that Samedeo is starting 11th, far up the field from where Harris is starting. And with this track being narrow and not a lot of passing opportunities, it's going to be difficult, but he's going to have to be aggressive and keep it clean.
And not only is Chase Harris trying to fend off Nicholas Samedeo, Tristan Allen is only 48 points behind. 54 points behind is Garrett Senor. And then 60 points behind we have Peyton Hamilton. And even behind Peyton Hamilton, it's really close. 62 behind for both Edgar Barreto and Audra Baranowskis. Owen Miles, 64 points behind. Nathan Faden is 67 points behind. And then 68 points behind, it's Noah Clifton. And a lot of those guys start up front and a lot farther up front than Chase Harris does here today. So this championship battle, it's probably going to be very close heading in the Gateway next weekend, given that Chase Harris does not move up through the field. And considering this is one of the harder road courses to make a pass, we could be seeing Chase Harris possibly lose the points lead at the end of the day. And these guys will roll off here from the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And in qualifying yesterday, it was the number 3 of Max Anderson with the fastest time. Alongside him, it's going to be Christian Master. Our last winner, Edgar Barreto, looking to go 2 in a row here in the Haas IndyCar Series. We'll be starting alongside Audra Baranowskis in row number 2. We have Noah Clifton and Marty Johnson there in row number 3. Mason Brown alongside Luke Rainey. Luke Rainey would also like to forget Watkins Glen last weekend. He was up front in both of those races and did not finish well in either one of them. And in the 5th row, Mitchell Collins to the inside of Owen Miles. Garrett Senor and Nicholas Samedeo start alongside each other there in row number 6. A couple of guys who are up there, top 5 in points. Tristan Allen starting there around the 15th position, but then Chase Harris deep in the field in the number 79. This is going to be very interesting to see how he manages this race here today at the Canadian Grand Prix. And Micah, it's a very narrow racetrack, but it's a very unique racetrack as well. These guys are going to be going pretty fast around here. How do you think this race is going to play out here today in the Canadian Grand Prix?
Well, I think sorting out the first couple laps are going to be pretty hectic as, like you said, it's really narrow. There's a lot of sweeping up and down turns, and especially this corner right up here, turn 5A into 5B, that's going to be a challenge to go side by side through. So these drivers are going to have to negotiate with one another over real estate on the racetrack, as you can see even just on the pace lap, getting kind of squished on the outside of that corner. So it's definitely going to be a challenge here, and it's going to be, the goal today is going to be keeping your car on the racetrack, making moves, and just being consistent. Yeah,
we'll have to see how it all goes down for these guys. Turn number 2, that wide sweeping left-hand corner is definitely a very treacherous place on the racetrack. And in qualifying yesterday, we did see a couple guys go off there. So guys like Nicholas Samedeo, guys like Edgar Barreto, Audra Baranowskis, Noah Clifton, who are up here battling for this championship, you're going to have to be a little bit careful here in this race because they have a huge opportunity of gaining on Chase Harris, with Harris starting as deep in the field as he is. But if they wreck out, Harris will most likely finish ahead of them. But we got a lot of guys starting up front here, and a couple of guys who have not really been shown up front that much this season starting on the front row. Who do you think is going to win here today in the Canadian Grand Prix?
Well, I really like Christian Master. He has set a very fast lap in qualifying. But I also like Baranowskis. She won at Mid-Ohio, and while these tracks aren't the most similar in the world, Mid-Ohio did have a lot of elevation change, and she was very fast there. So we'll have to see if that can translate here at Mosport. But for now, Christian Master seems to be in the catbird seat along with Max Anderson.
We'll have to see how it all goes down. Pace cars pulled off. Here we go. The Canadian Grand Prix is green. Only 3 races remain in the Haas IndyCar Series for 2020. Let's see how it all goes down here in Mosport. Max Anderson with a good jump on the start right there on the field. Still side by side there for the second position, Edgar Barreto. Looking to stake his claim into the second position right here. And the 2 Carlin teammates right on each other, Noah Clifton and Christian Master. And it looks like they're going to be going side by side through 5B and 5C. Barreto looking to get the advantage, and he will. Baranowski's to the inside of Clifton. That is for the 4th position. And they're going to go side by side down the Andretti straightaway.
Yeah, pretty clean first lap. Cars jostling for position now as Baranowskis is trying to clear the 23 of Clifton. Don't know if she's going to be able to do that. Yes, she does. Heading down into turn 8, though. These guys are going to have to be careful through this turn because there is no runoff. It's all sand trap. So you're going to have to see these guys trying to ease off the throttle as Max Anderson's going to come around to lead the first lap.
Good job there to Max Anderson clearing the field at the start of this race. Edgar Barreto there in second. Christian Master, Audra Baranowskis, and Noah Clifton, the top 5. There's Marty Johnson, Luke Rainey, Mason Brown, and then Mitchell Collins. Nicholas Samadillo, number 9, did not get a good start there. He's down to 14th. Garrett Sonor, who was the driver started alongside him, is now in 12th. But Chase Harris, as we pointed out, did not start well in this race, but he got a decent jump there on the start. Was 24th across the line that time by. And he's now in a battle there with Buck Hover. Tristan Allen in the number 39 is somewhere on the racetrack. Not entirely sure where he is at the moment. Let's see where he crossed the line. 18th. And that's around the place where he started there for Hamill Autosport. Marty Johnson looking now on Noah Clifton there for 5th. And Marty Johnson, he's come close a couple of times on these road courses so far this season. He might have another opportunity of possibly getting a dub here at Canada. We'll just have to see how it all goes down. But Max Anderson continues to lead. Edgar Barreto looking to close in the number 12 machine for this top position.
Yeah, and Barreto, you'd think that he would have decent slipstream, but it's definitely difficult to follow people in dirty air. And with such fast corners, downforce is going to be a big deal here. So right now, Max Anderson definitely with the advantage being in clean air.
Absolutely, and like we mentioned, making a move here, making a pass, especially for the race lead, is difficult here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But imagine that the pit stops are going to play a major factor in who gets the race victory. And speaking of major factors, looks like we had an accident in the front stretch. Nathan Stableton in the 34 and possibly Nathan Faden in the 21. Of course, as these accidents occur on the racetrack, you get the opportunity to see them in the corner of your screen. That's the beauty of me paying for Premiere, but thankfully I go to school still and I can get the discount for being a student. But either way, Max Anderson isn't pulling away here from Edgar Barreto for this top position, and Barreto's in a huge position here. He won that second race at Watkins Glen, only 62 behind Chase Harris, and Harris is currently in the 22nd position. Nicholas Samadillo is 14th, which means that in this championship battle right now, Chase Harris would go into Gateway with a 2-point lead. We'll have to see if Samadillo can gain on him on the racetrack, or if Chase Harris could possibly gain some positions as well. But worked out the best way it could, I think, for Chase Harris there on the start. Someone's off! Don't know who it is. Somebody's off the racetrack. It's Christian Master in the 59. Overshot turn 2. And he's going to fall way back. That's going to be an extra position there for Nicholas Samadillo, and most likely an extra position for Chase Harris as well as the field drives by. Such a tough break there for Christian Master, who started on the outside pole, and his chances of winning here today are going to end right there.
Yeah, and he had trouble finding an opening to get back onto the racetrack, so now he's going to have grass on his tires. It's going to take a lap or two to get back into rhythm and clean those off.
Max Anderson, though, and that's a bit of a warning sign to our race leaders. Master was running 3rd at the time, and I would imagine he was all by himself when that occurred. So these guys have to be careful because you never know when the race leader, Max Anderson or 2nd place, could make that mistake, and if that does in fact happen, that could definitely change the entire complexion of this event. Jordan Lopez there getting around the 79 of Chase Harris. But Harris now up to the 21st position, gained a position there because of Masters incident. Already lap 5 of 17 is actually 1 lap shorter than what we had last year, I do believe. So this race is going to go by rather quickly, and Igor Barretto still within a second of our race leader, Max Anderson.
Yeah, it looks like Barretto's been closing in a bit, especially now that he's closer. He's going to have the draft down the back straightaway. One thing I do want to say about Harris and San Mateo is that at other road courses this season, we've seen people gain position on pit lane. You can definitely stay out a little bit later and jump the field, or you can pit early and undercut the field. So we'll have to see how that plays into the race today.
Yeah, still an 8-position difference between San Mateo and Harris, which means it would be 8 points considering how deep in the field they are. Marty Johnson all over the gearbox of Noah Clifton here for the 4th position now. And that's Chase Harris's teammate running a little stronger than the points leader here today. Just have to see how it all goes down. Barretto closed in by quite a bit that last lap. We're going to have to see if this number 12 can get a pass made for the race lead. Not a common thing here, Canadian Tire, but Barretto seems to have a little bit more downforce through these corners, getting to the number 3 of Max Anderson.
Yeah, every lap. And Barretto's taking it closer to the inside through each turn. I'm stumbling for words right now. Barretto definitely has a neater line than Anderson coming up into 5A and 5B here. He gets into the corner a little bit hotter than Anderson, and Anderson's going to go a bit wide, so this is going to be a good setup for Barretto to make a move down the back straightaway here at Mosport.
We're just going to have to see if the number 12 Igor Barretto can, in fact, make that move, but he seems to have a stronger car. Just where can he get the advantage? It's such a narrow racetrack, and there truly aren't many passing opportunities around this racetrack. So just have to see what Barretto can do. And we had this battle between Marty Johnson and Noah Clifton for a while. We got Mason Brown there behind Luke Rainey. And go through the field there. San Mateo still in his respective position. At this point, the field's kind of calmed itself down. 2 guys are out of the race, Christian Master and Nathan Stapleton. Everyone else still on the lead lap here at Mosport. So we'll have to see how it all goes down as this race continues on. Not quite halfway, still have a cycle of pit stops left to go in this race. And of course, they're going to be green flag pit stops, and this is a difficult pit lane to come down, so that could really play an effect on who gets the race victory, especially if somebody makes a mistake coming in the pit lane entry.
Yeah, pit stops are going to be crucial, and it's also crucial to get a good in-lap and a good out-lap. If you can be faster heading into pit lane, faster coming off the pit lane, that's going to determine where you end up after the cycle is over. So heading down the back straight here, we're seeing a lot of guys. San Mateo trying to get the run on Thomas Lipscomb in the 7. Peyton Hamilton and Sidnor battling there. Got a lot of people right up on top of each other here.
Garrett Sidnor looking to get to the inside of Peyton Hamilton right here. A couple of guys who are in this championship fight, and the way things are rolling right now, they would both gain on Chase Harris in the points. But Chase Harris, considering where he started in this race, is pretty much doing all he can as Garrett Sidnor's trying on Hamilton. Hamilton a little wide there off the final corner. And they're bumping there down the front stretch. Looks like Sidnor's going to gain a position, though, on Peyton Hamilton, and that's an extra point there for Sidnor. And somebody coming off the pit lane, Keegan Thompson in the 4. These guys got to be careful with him, as he's going to go a lap down in the AJ Foyt racing machine. Not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop for Thompson or not, but that's going to jam those guys up in the back of the field, and they got to be careful getting around them there as they come off of turn number 4. So very, very interesting situation going on right there with Keegan Thompson. Somebody might have gone off a little bit there through turn 5C. But all these guys still within their respective positions here. Baranowskis might be closing in here on Igor Barretto for second. And keep in mind, both Baranowskis and Barretto are 62 points behind Chase Harris coming into this race. Since they're in the top 5 right now, they're going to gain significant amounts of points on Chase Harris in this event if Harris remains in the respective position he is currently in. So this is going to be interesting to see if they can stay in those positions, because if they finish the way they are currently running, we're going to have a multitude of guys in contention for this Haas IndyCar Series Championship heading into the Emerson Electric 100K next weekend at Gateway. We only have 3 guys lapped down right out of the race. Keegan Thompson joins those guys, but he's still out there on the racetrack. Still 27 guys on the lead lap. Pretty clean race. We've had a couple of instances, but nothing too major so far. How are these guys going to manage the cycle once it begins here in a few laps?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if the undercut or the overcut, as I would call it, staying out longer than the rest of the field, is going to have the advantage here. You never really know how it's going to work as Marty Johnson trying to get by Clifton. He's been behind Clifton this entire race trying to find a way around that 23 car, and he just has not been able to as they head down the Andretti straightaway. But yeah, pit lane's going to be very important here coming up in the next few laps for sure.
Faden's already down the pit lane. I don't know if he was involved in another incident or not, but Max Anderson going to lead us down here on lap number 9 of 17. And Marty Johnson is going to stay out. So now things are going to get interesting. Who's going to have the advantage? The guys coming down now or the guys staying out? Marty Johnson and Luke Rainey still out there. Johnson was unable to lead that lap. Max Anderson holds on to the extra 2 points for leading the most laps here today. But a few guys, including Tristan Allen, staying out on the racetrack. And that's pretty big right there. I think the rest of our championship contenders are down. Nicholas Samedillo, a little difficult getting him to his pit stall, but I don't think he gained any damage. A little bit difficult to see from that angle. And there is Chase Harris in the number 79, who is also down the pit lane. I believe it's a 4-tire stop for all these guys who are down. And Samedillo's got damage. Trying to come down the pit lane. He is going to fall behind the Chase Harris, and that is exactly what Chase Harris wanted to see in this race. Samedillo is his biggest competitor in this championship battle, and while that's not going to hurt Nicholas Samedillo too much, that's going to help out Chase Harris in retaining this points lead heading into Gateway next weekend if they remain in their respective positions. Here comes Marty Johnson. He's going to come down the pit lane. Luke Rainey as well. Keegan Thompson has already made his stop, but he is on the tail end of the lead lap at this point. There's Justin Zeidel in the 24, Nathan Smith in the 18, and Allen overshot the entry to the pit lane, and he's going to fall back a little bit. They're going to have to repair damage on that 39. Now he's going to lose positions. This is working out very well for Chase Harris, even though Harris is deep in the field. He's going to get around Matt Tuck here, and Harris is going to end up with a much better finish than he had hoped for. And all those guys right behind him in the championship are going to fall behind him most likely. What a turn of events here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. The guy who won the race off the pit lane was Max Anderson. He is miles ahead of the field. But Marty Johnson was able to take second, and he's going to have slightly fresher tires here on this run. Baranowskis is third, Luke Rainey, and then Noah Clifton. Barretto with a slow stop. He's going to fall back, and Tristan Allen is out of the race here at Canadian Tire. He has officially retired in the 39. Unbelievable. It's 3 races in a row that Tristan Allen has had a decent starting position, or at least a starting position ahead of our points leader Chase Harris. And each one of those times, he is going to fail to capitalize on that run. Chase Harris, I think once this whole thing cycles through, it's going to be around the 13th position. Nicholas Samedillo is only about 5 positions behind him. So it's probably, the way things are currently running right now, going to be about a 15-point lead for Chase Harris heading into Gateway. So this championship battle is far from over, but Harris with a great pit stop, and Samedillo, because he had damage from contact coming down the pit lane, is going to fall back a little bit. Here comes Baranowskis closing in on Marty Johnson there for second, as Max Anderson has simply pulled away from the field here at Canadian Tire.
Yeah, Max Anderson has had the strongest car all day long. Chase Harris and his crew did exactly what they needed to do there on that pit stop. I mean, that's a championship winning move there, potentially. If he can hang on to this points lead through the final couple of races here, that stop would have been the start of it. That would have been crucial.
And that's a change of luck, especially for Chase Harris. The past few races have been extremely dismal for him, but he actually had something go his way during that whole exchange. Obviously, with Tristan Allen getting knocked out of the race because of a bad entry, that's going to knock out one of his championship rivals. And then for Samedillo, it's not going to keep Samedillo out of the championship fight at all, because Harris is only going to gain 5 points, so it's only going to be 15 points heading in the Gateway. But Samedillo easily could have taken the points lead away from Chase Harris coming into today's event, and that is not going to be the case here. But still, Samedillo, all he's got to do is manage his position at this point. Does not want to get wrecked out in this race and lose more points to Chase Harris. But that worked out very well for our points leader, who has had a dismal past few races. Still not the best finish in the world for him, but much better than where he initially started after a great exchange on the pit lane. But meanwhile, Max Anderson, looking at his first win in the Haas IndyCar Series, I do believe, started on the pole, and he has pretty much been the class of the field all day. And this battle here for second may be the best battle on the racetrack. Audrey Baranowski's looking to gain 5 more points towards the championship if she can get around Marty Johnson. That's going to be huge for Baranowski because she's going to close within a race of Chase Harris in the points if she can make that move on Marty Johnson for position.
Yeah, Baranowski seems to be faster through the sweeping high downforce turns, and then Johnson just pulls away down the straightaways. So evenly matched cars, but just stronger in different areas of the track, and I think Baranowski is going to close in here through the final couple of turns.
We'll have to see what she can do. A very difficult place to get a run on somebody and make a move for position, so they may end up finishing in those respective positions. Chase Harris still 14th, Sam Adio still 19th. Garrett Sonor is another guy. We really didn't touch on too much there. He came into this race 54 points behind, and he is currently 10th on the leaderboard. A great day for Sonor, and with that, he will actually gain within a race of points on Chase Harris, even though Harris is right there on the racetrack with him. So Sonor still in this championship fight, and he actually capitalized on his good run, looking to get a top 10 here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Baranowski's another one of those guys. Even Barretto's going to close in a little bit on Chase Harris, because Barretto was running, I believe, in the second position as Nathan Faden, who is already a lap down, kind of getting out of the way of these guys with a 21 machine. I think he may have been second once the cycle began. He fell back to 8th. Very bad exchange there on the pit stops for Igor Barretto, but he is still going to finish ahead of Chase Harris, meaning he will still be in championship contention. One guy, though, who may lose championship contention, he will still mathematically have a chance, is going to be Tristan Allen, who wrecked out once again here in the Haas IndyCar Series. That's going to hurt him significantly. 3 laps to go. Marty Johnson is closing by quite a bit that last time around on Max Anderson, but Max Anderson has nobody around him, and he can race it pretty clean at this point to ensure he gets that number 3 to the checkered flag here at Canadian Tire.
Yeah, he's got a big buffer. He's got almost a 3-second lead here coming down through the hairpin. Marty Johnson going to try and do his best to close in, but I don't know anyone who would be able to catch up 3 seconds in 3 laps. I mean, that's a big ask. You're gonna have to go all out.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Marty Johnson does have 1 lap fresher tires than Keegan Thompson, as he did come down a lap after. And that strategy worked out pretty well for Marty Johnson. He was about the 5th position, I believe, when the cycle began, gained 3 positions for overcutting during that cycle of green flag pit stop. So it worked out fairly well for Marty Johnson either way. He's never won before in the Haas IndyCar Series, and I don't believe Max Anderson has either. Both these guys have run full seasons in the past, so definitely interesting to see a couple of veterans going after it for their first win in the series. Marty Johnson closed in a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to have Max Anderson make a mistake here in these final 2 laps if he's going to have a shot at a race victory. But we have seen it happen so far today with a couple of drivers. We'll have to see if it happens to the driver of the number 3.
Well, yeah,
Sam still in his respective position in the 19th. Chase Harris got around Thomas Lipscomb. That's an extra point there for Harris, and that could go a long way heading into Pocono.
Yeah, Harris has been chasing Lipscomb. They finally was able to get around him, but if Johnson catches the leader here, catching him is one thing, passing is going to be another. As we've seen all day, passing's been very, very difficult to do cleanly, if at all. You see Barretto trying to catch up to Baranowski here down the
It's actually
long
Luke Rainey there in the number 1.
Very similar looking
teammate.
cars.
Easy mistake. But it's going to be Max Anderson taking the white flag here in the Canadian Grand Prix. Either way, Anderson has led every lap in this event. But it's been a tough one for a lot of the field. And Johnson closed in again, but he just simply doesn't have enough time. And Keegan Thompson coming off the pit lane again. Anderson may have had to check up just a little bit there, but he will get around the 4 machine and clear Thompson. And with that, Anderson's probably going to be able to hold on to this race victory here at Canadian Tire. Got a battle right here for 3rd. Luke Rainey looking to the inside there as they go up the hill through turn 4. Gonna have the outside lane, but if he can hold the inside, he might be able to take this position away, and that's gonna be huge towards the championship because Baranowski's trying to gain as many points as possible on Chase Harris. Is gonna lose one right there on the final lap. Meanwhile, Max Anderson pulling away down the Andretti straightaway, looking for his first career win in the Haas IndyCar Series. And it looks like it's gonna happen. Trey Smith looking to get his first ever win as an owner on Napa Fan. And Max Anderson is going to be that driver who's going to pull it off for him. Off the final corner, Max Anderson's going to win the Canadian Grand Prix at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Marty Johnson and a good battle here for third. It'll be Luke Rainey on the podium, ahead of Audra Baranowskis, Mason Brown, Mitchell Collins, Igor Barretto in 7th, Owen Miles, Garrett Tenor, and Payne Hamilton. The top 10. Chase Harris, where did he go? Harris went off the racetrack, and Sam Adio's going to finish ahead of him in the number 9. Unbelievable.
After that, good luck for Chase Harris. Still cannot capitalize, and that might mean the difference between keeping the points lead. We'll have to wait and see how many positions he lost.
It looks like he will officially finish in 23rd. He will still retain the points lead, but Nicholas Samadio finished 6 positions ahead of him. Actually, yes. 6 positions ahead of him. Which means that it's going to be a 4-point lead for Chase Harris heading in the Gateway. And I also see Noah Clifton retired from the racetrack. Clifton, I believe, was running inside the top 10. Senor gained a position. All those guys, I think Mason Brown, Mitchell Collins, and Igor Barretto, those guys all gained a position there in the top 10. A lot happened in the back of the field. Not much happened up front, though, as Max Anderson dominated this race and took home the race victory. But we're going to go through the carnage cam here and show you guys what happened to all these guys, including Chase Harris on the final lap of the race. And now this championship battle is going to be close once again heading in the Gateway. These points are really going to be interesting. We'll show you guys those points at the end of the video. But first, let's go ahead and see what happened here today at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Well, this is what happened coming to lap 2. Nathan Faden, Nathan Stapleton. Faden just got into Stapleton, and look at that! Thankfully, this is a fictional game, and there aren't any real fans there on the other side of the wall, because that would have been really bad. That's also where Keegan Thompson gained his damage. That's why we saw him come off the pit lane a couple of times there. About a wild incident there on lap number 2. And this was on lap number 4. Christian Master, who was running 3rd at the time, going off in turn 2 and hard into the tire barrier there. And the damage was too much to be able to continue here at Canadian Tire. Tough break for Christian Master in the number 59. And lap 10, Tristan Allen coming down the pit lane, got in the grass and into the tire barrier, just like Christian Master did through turn 2 earlier on in the race. And for Allen, the damage was enough to knock him out. These past races have been really bad for Tristan Allen, but somehow he's still going to be in championship contention, taking him the Gateway, albeit he's going to need to probably finish top 5 in both races to have a shot. It's still not over yet for Tristan Allen in the 39. And this was coming to the white flag. Apparently Noah Clifton and Chase Harris did not have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. And that's 100% on the pit crew, because they came down past halfway. And that might have been how Chase Harris gained all his time. Had the top off. Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
I mean, realistically, Chase Harris finished where he probably would have if he didn't pull that strategy. Andrew Miller also had to come down as well, but such a tough break there for Chase Harris, who had a shot at extending his points lead a little bit on Nicholas Amadio. It's now going to be down to 4 points, heading him to Gateway next Saturday night. But either way, it's Max Anderson who will go to victory lane here in the Canadian Grand Prix. I believe it's his first ever win in the Haas IndyCar Series. Great to see that of the veteran driver Marty Johnson. Luke Rainey, Audra Baranowskis got 4th. Baranowskis is going to close into this championship battle now. And it's Mason Brown, Mitchell Collins, Igor Barretto, who's probably going to close up there a little bit too. Owen Miles, Garrett Tenor is going to be in contention. So will Payne Hamilton. And obviously Nicholas Sambadi, even though he finished 17th, is going to gain on Chase Harris in this race and be 4 points behind heading into Gateway next weekend. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. And obviously we saw what happened to those guys who finished deep in the field here today at Canadian Tire. But Micah, now it's down to 2 oval races. Gateway next weekend, and then the finale of the Pocono Raceway for the Haas World Championship 100. Chase Harris is still hanging on by a thread for this points lead. Do you think he may pull off this championship in the Haas IndyCar Series?
Well, he's going to have 2 perfect oval races, and with the way they drive on ovals, it's so unpredictable. you never know what's going to happen from lap to lap. So he's going to have some good luck. And I think it's possible, definitely possible, but it's going to be a challenge, no doubt.
Keep in mind, though, we have had ourselves, if I'm not mistaken, 6 oval races so far this year. Indianapolis was won by Nicholas Amadio. Pikes Peak was won by Payne Hamilton. And the other oval race that I'm trying to think of here...
Auto Club was won by...
Buckhover. Thank you. The other 3 ovals that we had were Texas, Richmond, and Kansas. And all 3 of those races were won by Chase Harris. Chase Harris has been excellent on the ovals. And now we're finally going to end on 2 ovals here. Gateway, kind of similar to Richmond. Pocono is kind of its own thing. Obviously, its closest similarity is Indianapolis. And Nicholas Amadio won the Indy 250 earlier this year. So it's going to be interesting. These next series are going to be intense. It's Gateway next Saturday night. We're going to be doing the race before the real-life IndyCar race, and then on Labor Day, not Labor Day weekend, I mean, it is Labor Day weekend, but on Labor Day itself, on that Monday, it's going to be the finale in the Haas IndyCar Series, the Haas World Championship 100 from Pocono, and now that's going to be a fun race there around that 2.5-mile super speedway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. What a season it has been so far. 2 races left. What are you most looking forward to in these final 2 races here in the Haas IndyCar Series?
Looking to see if Amadio can have something for Harris, or if someone else can spoil the party. We'll have to wait and see. But oval racing in the IndyCar Series is always a big excitement. So that above all, just good racing.
We're just going to have to see how it goes down. Next Saturday night, it's the Emerson Electric 100K at Gateway. And of course, next weekend, it is Daytona weekend for everybody else. Turkey Hill Truck Series returns their first race of the season next Thursday night, along with the Turkey Hill Series finale, or Turkey Hill Series race at Daytona. Not the finale quite yet for those guys. All the finales for the main 3 series this summer are going to be on Labor Day weekend. But Turkey Hill Series from Daytona, Turkey Hill Truck Series from Daytona, and Chick-fil-A Cup Series from Daytona on Thursday, and Friday night, respectively, next weekend. And then Saturday night, it's the Emerson Electric 100K for the Haas IndyCar Series at Gateway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Max Anderson for winning here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And here are the points for the Haas IndyCar Series with 2 races remaining. It is a tight points battle. Will Chase Harris get it, or will it be somebody else? On behalf of Mike and App, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.